Should have Andrew here in just a minute. Is that him? Oh, here we go. There we go. What's up,
What
man?
up?
Good to talk to you, man.
Yeah,
Yeah. I guess we'll wait while a few more people come in.
I'm with you.
Cool. You must be on top of the
There's,
world this week, man.
yeah, I don't even know, surreal.
Yeah.
Simply the fact that it's 6 games, like the, I don't know, best 6 games of my life. And like I've had 1834 for six or 1634 for six, back to back 800s. And like, that means nothing
There it
because
is.
that was, yeah, that was at a youth tournament that, paid probably $150.
Right. Apples to oranges, really. I mean, just given the magnitude of it and like how much money you were bowling for.
Yeah. And like, I mean, some people know I didn't go in anything on the first squad. I was signed up for 2 other squads. I took all the money out. Was like, that's enough of a number. Like literally just
Right.
turned 95 into 20 grand.
Yeah,
But that's why I went into nothing. It was just like the aspect of clear mind. There's enough money to bowl for.
absolutely. Yeah, I think we got people trickling in, so I guess I'll introduce you, man. We got Andrew Lazarchick. I hope I said that right.
Yeah.
Andrew Lazarchick, he's from New Jersey. He is your Megabucks champion. Um, and this is a guy who, I mean, like you said, you spent $95, got 20,000. That's like everyone's dream, and you're living it. So
Yeah.
pretty awesome. Um, I think the first question, man, just you strung some strikes together for that amount of money at the end there. You had the back five, I believe.
Yeah.
Back five for the win. So tell us about that. Take us through it.
I mean, honestly, going into the 10th, I had like no clue even what I needed.
Really?
So going back to when the string of strikes started, the match was like really close. And I think after like I threw the double in the, what's that, 7/8 or something, wherever. When I threw that double, we were all within like 3 pins of each other going into the final frames. So at that point, my look got a little better. I got a little more relaxed. I wasn't like grabbing as much at the bottom where the ball's getting offline so quick.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? All I have to do is just throw the next 5 strikes and it's over. Like that was like kind of my mindset.
Right.
And I didn't look at the scoreboard, anything. So when I threw the first one, I still thought I needed the second one. And then I walked back and I just went to go look up at the speed and I'm like, oh wait, I already won.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then that's when it really hit me. I'm like, what just happened? Like that's 20,000.
Yeah.
And going into the 10th, I think the difference is like if I split there or open, I drop to third. So the difference is 12 grand. Like I needed a mark for an extra 12,000.
Yeah. And that's why you practice, just so that your muscle memory in that moment is like on point and you can perform, do what you got to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
off my hand, the first one on the 10th, I was just like, there's no chance it doesn't get there. Like,
I saw that shot. Yeah.
yeah, that was best shot I probably threw all
And
weekend.
I mean, that's saying something because, like, all through qualifying, like, you had to look. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I got your scores right here. We got 251, 258. You had your 300 in there, and then you shot 245. So 258 over, pretty good.
Yeah, and the 245 game, I big four first ball in the 10th. I was shooting at 79.
Wow.
But it goes back to why I didn't go into any brackets or anything. Like a little pressure, I just grabbed it, bad shot. I'm like, I knew I was setting now a huge number. I wanted to get to the 1080 range, almost 1090 range,
Yeah.
because then I know no one's touching me.
Yeah. You still win.
Yeah. Well, I know it came down to like the last game, and then it was like someone had like 790 the last block of the first three, and I'm like, okay, and then I look at it, put it in perspective, they still need like 260 something this game, and I'm like, yeah, we're safe, because yeah, they were easy, but it was hard to get the pins to fall. That was the biggest thing that I saw from watching all the squads, because I stayed in the bowling alley all day and just hung out.
Yeah.
And just watching, like, people had just an issue of really getting the pins to actually fall. They could hit the pocket all day, but
they weren't like splitting the 8-9, like getting that angle, getting that continuation.
Yeah. Everyone was like, they're hooking. Well, I just hit my ball at more surface and made it hook earlier, get offline quicker, and stabilize in the back part of the lane.
Yeah, and you had that 16-pound black hammer, so you could kind of slow down without even thinking about it.
Yeah, double the differential.
Yeah, exactly. And then I know you had your grip pressure too, and that really helped you.
Yeah, that just relaxing. That's been a big problem just all year for me. Like on the regional side of things, like I've had a few events where I'm bad on the fresh because I'm pressing, and then I get all the way to second, in qualifying, and then I get into round robin match play on Sunday, and I press all Sunday, and I drop from second to 13th.
Right.
Like, it's just kind of been the ongoing, same thing where it's just a little too much at the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a time and a place for it. I mean, I guess we talked about the bowling side of things, man. But let's talk about who you are just as a person, man. Tell us about yourself off the lanes. What do you do besides bowling? All that stuff.
I mean, right now, bowling's now like full time for me. I work for Neotac, a ball cleaning company, and they produce a lane cleaner and lane conditioner as well. So, Neotac, Hammer Bowlify staff. I do some coaching. I think that's so I quit for almost a year and a half and got back into bowling 2 years ago in November.
Really?
And it was solely because my little brother. I really thought it was all going to be over after college. It just wasn't what I wanted to do. And my little brother called me a waste of talent. And I was like, yeah, really? I drilled 3 bowling balls. Well, I drilled 3 bowling balls, and I signed up for the Ocean County Masters, our county tournament. And I ended up winning the Ocean County Masters. I bowled like 300. I had like 790 something. And then in the finals, I had 299 the last game to end up passing the guy to win. So I looked at him. I'm like, I'm a waste of talent. Okay, I'm back. Like, didn't practice, didn't any. All right, wrong. I went to my local bowling center in the morning before qualifying and bowled a single game just to make sure the bowling ball got out of my hand.
Yeah.
Because I just drilled 3 new bowling balls. That's all I walked in with.
Oh, shit.
And then, I don't know, with everything I kind of been through in life, it's just more like that my own accolades, that's not what makes me go. Money isn't what makes me go. Like, why am I doing this all over again if it's going to be for me? So that's where I started with like the coaching idea, the coaching aspect, and it's just more purposeful. Like winning this 20,000 feels amazing. winning the event feels amazing, but at the end of the day, like the texts I get from the people I work with, hey, I just bowled my 300 whatever, like 830, 820. I'm like, that feels much better to me than anything I've ever achieved.
Absolutely. Like, you've gotten to a place in your career where it's almost those extracurriculars that really drive you, and that's what it's all about, man. Absolutely.
Yeah. So that all just recently started too within the last couple months, because I got back into it, and I kind of got in the same mindset of like, this is like, I don't know how to explain it, but bowling, it gets to a point where it's a little redundant.
It's not about the game. It's about the it's what the game brings to your life. The people, and people cheering you on, and how it brings people together. Things of that. Yeah,
the support. And I realized, like, I'm very to myself usually, like, that I love the support, that, and it's not a negative thing. It's not me saying I don't like the support, but I'm very to myself. Like, I'm okay if I was alone for forever. Like, I could be okay, content by myself. I have the people obviously I love and care about. I would love to have them with me, but when it comes to reality, like, you only have yourself. So that's where the coaching aspect, I don't know, it brings a different element to the game that, like, I never once saw, because I was really only doing the game for myself. And at the end of the day, like, what do I get out of it? You know, how really meaningful and purposeful is the game itself?
Yeah, I mean, chances are you'll be getting more lessons booked after all this. But
Yeah,
you know,
I've got a few messages like, do you offer online coaching? And I'm like, yeah, we can work out, you know, a package and stuff like that. So, but it's just, I want to help grow. Like, I love bowling because bowling's been an outlet to me. You know, that's the big thing. Like, if I could have my own lanes just where I could, you know,
Andrew Hall.
go there and yeah, exactly. And just, you know, throw the ball. That's all I would need. I wouldn't even need to bowl tournaments. Like, I'm content with that. You know, I just love the sound of the pins, you know, the feel of the ball. I do love the competitive part. You know, being in the moment is always surreal. But when it really comes down to it, it's like in the big scheme of like what is life and trying to set like personal goals off the lanes. It's like how really like meaningful and purposeful is winning a bowling tournament.
Right. No, but it sounds to me like, you know, I know you lost your mother. I'm sorry for your loss, man. After stuff like that, you know, it just seems like bowling is like your sanctuary. And
Yeah.
you know, you're $20,000 richer, but at the end of the day, I think the greatest thing of all is that you know, it's giving you that refuge from all the troubles of life, man. And that's awesome, genuinely.
Yeah, mom was the biggest supporter of bowling, and actually like mom and dad met at the bowling alley, you know, like years ago. And
Yeah.
back in 2013, Matt Russo and I were bowling league together, and my dad had cardiac arrest right behind us in the bowling center. And he was in the hospital for 3.5 years. So that was my freshman year. He came out of the hospital the summer going into my senior year. And about 6 months later is when my mom had her stroke in the house. So I remember 2 days actually before my mom's stroke. It was along the lines of, she called up my godfather and we set, you know, a bunch of goals on and off the lanes. And a lot of the off lane goals were like, you know, working for a company within the industry, whether it be Brunswick, whatever, you know, it turned out to be, coaching, you know, stuff like that. And then the on lane goal was mainly just PBA tour title.
Yeah.
And, you know, 2 days later, you know, she says her last words to me, and it's just like, why did that conversation happen at that time? I mean, truthfully, at that time, I was about to visit McKendree, so that's probably kind of the reason, you know, like she brought it up. But it just, I look back at it like, how? Like how is it so coincidental that like my biggest supporter sits down with me and, you know, she's like, let's set out these goals while you're going for your future, and then 2 days later she's gone.
Okay.
So that's been some of like the personal demons with bowling, like where it gets a little redundant, because sometimes in my head I feel like I'm not able to, you know, achieve that goal and whatever, and let me go do something else. Let me go do something that may, you know, change for the better, whether it's me or somebody else.
Absolutely.
And bowling wasn't doing it, and then, you know, that's where the coaching just comes into big play. Making the difference there is just everything to me. I don't know.
It's more to you than any megabucks title, you know, any of that.
Yeah, and I mean, I just look at all the, you know, opportunities from amazing people in the industry that, you know, are in the Hall of Fame and things like that, that have really helped me and just took me under their wing for just being great people. And I just look like that's why bowling is special. Like, you know, that aspect of the community is amazing. That the you know, the smallness of it, that the pros aren't, you know, anything high level figures that you never see.
They're
Like,
not untouchable. Yeah.
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 And the right pros literally just have a huge heart, and they want to just, you know, they see talent or whatever, and they just want to make sure they can, you know, pass their knowledge forward, I guess. And what's the purpose of me gatekeeping that knowledge is kind of how I feel. So I just feel like I'm at that point where it's better for me to pass things along than, you know, keep it to myself. And I don't know, this year start making that whole change. Mindset's been different, and now I'm achieving things that I've dreamed about achieving.
How's it
You know,
been different? Just because of the stuff we talked about?
Yeah, seriously. You know, it makes things feel a little more purposeful, and now you have like people that are like communicating you. Like the amount of texts that I've just gotten from people that, you know, I was giving lessons to, like those were some of the first people to text me, reach out to me.
That's awesome.
And it's like, you know, you're doing something great for them, and then they're recognizing you. Like, it just feels good. I don't know.
Oh, absolutely. You know, and that the title itself, I feel like we're beating a dead horse, but it's true. I mean, a title itself, okay, great, that's awesome. But you know, that's the stuff that you're going to remember is after that title. You know how it affects the people in your life, and that's sick, man. That's awesome.
I mean, the biggest change is now every PTQ for 2025 will be, paid for and signed
Yeah,
up. So
let's talk about that because I know you're going to bowl all the PTQs now. I
yeah.
mean, so you got your eyes on the PBA going forward?
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the goals that I set with mom before everything happened. And it's just like, roll this over. You made it bowling, roll it back into bowling, invest in yourself, and just, achieve the things that you want to achieve. Do it for her, do it for yourself, and do it for the people you love and care about and the people that support you.
Mm-hmm. Like, what's your end goal? You know, PBA title. I mean,
Yeah.
we can't get too
I
far
mean,
ahead, but
yeah, I mean, I haven't even, PBA title, yes, but like for the entire season, I just, want to stay afloat, want to get acclimated.
yeah, and it's a learning process. But you obviously, I mean, I'm not sucking up to you when I say you got the talent. You know, it's just every professional says it's now a learning process of learning the transition and all that stuff. So
Yeah, the hook windows are a little different.
yeah,
Trying to get the ball to slow down in the right spot so you can kick out the 7, two or three extra times in a game
no kidding.
because those guys strike a lot,
Mhm.
and it's not 5-1. Well, sometimes,
Yeah,
but
no,
not all the time.
I mean they can make it as such, like when they break the lanes down a certain way, but on the fresh, it's not going to be 5-1. Definitely not. So, um, oh yeah, one thing I wanted to ask: how are you going to spend the 20,000? So sorry to change subjects, but
PTQs, it's
yeah,
all going towards the tour season.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm good. I go full time at it. So that and travel, it's literally all just gonna go to it.
it all ties in. I heard a video with Chris Prather and Packy Airman. They said you got to save up about 15,000 for a tour season for all the PTQs, all that stuff. So
Yeah, I mean, and I'm also probably not going to have roommates. I'm just, like I said, to myself.
yeah,
And I think I just operate a little bit better under that. So pad a little more because, they're rooming, they're getting Airbnbs and stuff like that.
mm,
Um, so yeah, I mean, some events, may make sense to, hang out with some of the guys, get an Airbnb. But
mm,
I think for majority of it, I'm just going to stick to myself so I can prepare myself the best
focus.
mentally.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man. I guess would you be down to stick around for a few minutes? Maybe they can
Yeah.
ask you some questions, and
Yeah.
if anyone has any.
Yeah. I got nothing going on. I bowl one league, and
Yeah,
I do like, yeah, I'm
cool.
free.
I
This
mean,
time I'm free.
cool. I mean, I guess yeah, I'll invite all you guys in the chat to put whatever questions you want them to answer, and I guess in the meantime, man, anything else you want to talk about? I mean, we touched on off the lanes and on the lanes, so what else do you want to talk about or bring up?
I mean, I want to promote Neotac for a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people, I know about them. I'm bringing some light back to the company. They've been around since '96, and they make some of honestly, the best ball cleaners on the market. Um, I'm just beyond impressed with them. Like I've never been one to clean my bowling balls because I've been on staff for a while. You're always getting a new bowling ball, and I got some of the product back when I was in high school before I was on staff. I
Yeah.
found it recently, stumbled upon it, started using it. I'm like, this stuff's legit.
Real
So
deal. Yeah.
that's
Now,
kind of
sorry.
I guess that's the biggest thing there. Push that. Thank everybody, that supports me. That's another one. Dad, brother, and then pro shop. So Fury Solid 10. John Fury, Rev Rates. So the whole staff there, Howell Lanes. Those are some important places in my life. My outlet. I spent a lot of my younger years just bowling from when I got out of high school until Howell Lanes was saying it's time to go home.
That's
That's
all
how
you
you
get
get
to
a
do.
thumb like that.
Jesus Christ. Holy crap. That's a one-hander for you. Um, shoot, I don't know what other questions they're asking, but I mean, yeah. What else, man? Anything else you want to bring up?
I'm looking in the comments right now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
I see people join them.
I see some there's Ray, Robbie. Oh, I know a lot of these people, my friends.
Good deal, man.
Oh, someone brought up the Justin Bone waxing challenge. Yeah,
What is that?
That's funny. Justin, way back when he was just starting his YouTube channel, I was home from college and we bowled a trios, and he was on a different team, and we just made a bet for YouTube. And him and I are both, hairy people, so the bet was the highest total block. The winner had to then wax the loser. So then we took the video. Yeah, Justin lost. I smoked him.
I'm dead.
So, but that video actually went viral because someone made the 710. Tommy Burns made the 710 in that video. Yeah, and that video popped off. So a bunch of people got to see me wax Justin Bone.
Oh my god.
The big wax.
First thing after this interview, I'm gonna go find that video because that's freaking awesome. Holy shit! And he made the 710 too.
Yeah, and that's where bowling is awesome. Experiences like that, memories like that, like all the places I've been to places that I would never go to, like Cleveland, Ohio.
Right? Like when the hell are you gonna go there?
Yeah. And but I appreciate things like that. Like, you get to see different aspects of life, all walks of life, and you get to meet all different people, whether it's in the bowling alley or at Shake Shack, and there's no Shake Shack around here. So like just things like that I just, there's core memories. I've made so many friends from just across the states that, I keep in touch with, not so much, but we're always every few months just reaching out to each other. You remember this? Do you remember that? Stuff like that.
Like, dude, when we go to like up in New England, it's NEBA, down there. I mean, or even like regionals for that matter. Like you may not remember at that tournament, okay, this person won, this person, shot 300, but you're gonna remember like all the funny memories and memories with your friends, and that's what it's all about, man.
The dinners are just, like they can't be spoken about, but we have a lot of fun at dinners. Like,
I trust you.
Just like I look at it still now, like immature, like, just cracking up the whole time. Right. Just being a group of guys that are just, close friends that don't even live near each other.
Exactly. Like you're never going to see each other except for that, but that gives you the opportunity just to fraternize and make these memories. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I
think it's humbling as a whole. All of it, to get to this point today, it's just, there's been a lot of failures, a lot of ups, a lot of downs, and it's just, I don't know, it's humbling.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm sure you think back to when you were like a little kid in the bowling center, like barely. You've been bowling your whole life, right?
No.
Oh, you haven't?
No. So like yes and no. I got a bowling ball probably when I was around like 6, and it was literally like pulling teeth to get me into the bowling alley. And every time that I was in the bowling alley, I was more worried about like going to play pinball or driving the like electronic car games. Like I wanted nothing to do with bowling. And a kid from my high school bowling team just made a funny comment, asked what was my favorite post-tournament restaurant and why is it Olive Garden. We've done some crazy stuff at Olive Garden with our high school bowling team.
Yeah.
Spitballs, stuff. Just good times. But I just lost my train of thought because when I started bowling. So I really didn't actually start till truly, like I joined my first league in 5th grade.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And it was solely because I was hanging out with a kid that I knew from school. It was a rainy day. We were bored. He's like, let's go bowling. We wanted to keep going bowling. My parents knew about bowling, was just like, hey, Sean and Andrew should bowl a league together. They would be, it would make more sense. Like have them commit to something, they can bowl every Tuesday or Monday at the time, Monday Madness. And shortly after, Sean ends up retiring his bowling career because a bowling ball falls on his head out of his locker. Never bowled again. Literally never bowled again. That was it. And I just stuck to it. And from there, it's been this,
Of course.
you know.
Yeah.
And my parents, since they had the bowling background, were always making sure every weekend I was bowling a tournament. Once I started to get there, even when it was handicap bowling, I bowled so many handicap JBTs, and then I was into PJBTs, and then and then it just started to, go up, and I started to dominate, and I won a few Player of the Years, like high school boys bowler of the year, stuff like that, and then college is where it goes wrong. I go, I lose the love from it, and that it's post mom, because every time I got into a slump, my mom would, or just that mindset of like, I don't want to bowl. My mom would push me to bowl. You have too much talent not to bowl, too much. And why don't you want to bowl? And, I would come up with an excuse like, oh, blah, 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 blah. This happened last week and I didn't win, or this and that. And she's like, so what?
And I'll tell you this, man, like, she would always want you, whether she's here or not, to keep doing that. Like, if that ever happens in the future, I mean, you can just remember her saying that, and that'll keep you going, dude.
Yeah.
Really will. So.
Yeah. My little brother keeps me in line with it, too.
That was good.
My biggest support, It's unconditional support, unconditional love, no matter how many times you see me fail, whether what it is, he's always there like, come on, let's keep going.
Yeah. 100%. And that, again, that's the stuff we talked about. Like, that's what really matters. And that's what's going to push you more than just competitiveness. Absolutely. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So solely why, though, the money's just getting rolled over in the PVA.
Right.
When I realized I won, I put my hands in my pocket and I look up and I started saying stuff to her, and I just know exactly where the money's going to go. It's go and chase the dream of what you always wanted to do and what you guys always talked about together.
Hell yeah, dude! I'll be looking for you on back here on TV, man. I'm telling you.
I hope.
Yeah,
dude, I really hope.
Give it a few years, make a few main fields, and then make a few cuts, and I mean, obviously, it's a process, and you'll get there.
Yeah, I mean, I've had semi-success in some PBA events. I finished second in a regional.
Ooh.
When I was 17.
Dude, tell us that story. That's freaking crazy.
Birthday. That story is actually really crazy. I got fined for a bowling ball that I bowl 170 with for being an ounce and a half of side weight or something. I plugged it. I didn't put it back on the dodo, and I throw it one game. I bowl my lowest game of the tournament. It cost me $500 or whatever it was. Yeah, $250. It was yeah. My ball was like a half an ounce over in side weight.
Like can't they just bend the rules a little bit? Right. You would hope. That's absurd.
So I forget where I qualified, but I qualified in 1-4 or whatever, the spots that where you have to check your bowling balls Sunday morning.
Yeah.
And I went down with John Fury, Joe Paluzik, and it was in Maryland. And I went down with my mom and dad that one. John Fury and Joe Paluzik was the following year. So I went down with my mom and dad, so they were there. And I just remember being outside of the bowling alley right before match play starts, kind of frying out, and my parents are like, so what? You're still in match play. You didn't get disqualified.
Yeah.
It's not that big of a deal. And I'm like, no, I'm more mad at myself. I knew that wasn't the right ball. Why'd I throw it?
Of course. Yeah.
And I don't know. I crushed him in match play. I get to the finals, and I had some unfortunate carry the last two frames, and the guy gets up in the 10th, and he crosses over the first ball in the 10th to beat me by 16. And it was on my 17th birthday.
On your 17th birthday, you finished second in a friggin' regional, dude.
Yeah, I threw a Deviate Diva Divine, and the ball that was overweight was a Deviate Vandal.
Dude, I haven't heard it. I'm relatively new to bowling comparatively, so I haven't heard of these balls, but
yeah, so that's 2016.
2016. Okay, yeah, that's some older stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got Andrew Hall here. You know Andrew?
Yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah.
I actually stayed at his house this weekend.
Oh my God, damn.
Yeah, that's the guy.
He's my guy too. He let me in the training center, and it was a blast, dude. It really was.
Beautiful.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And this fucking bastard has that in his house. So,
The most humble person you're ever gonna meet.
oh
He's
yeah,
down to earth. You know, like I can't say enough good things about Andrew.
same.
You know, I'm actually proud for what he did this year with tour trials, and he's got an amazing season. He like, if you saw some of the things he did with his like hand position since he's got the training center,
Mm-hmm.
he's going to crush him. He's put in the work. He deserves it too.
I believe it.
Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
gonna have a good year.
like a lot of, maybe it's like this in New Jersey as well, but up in New England, like most guys are freaking lazy. Like they won't put their hand in a bowling ball for like 2 weeks, then they'll go out for a tournament. Like you get guys like Andrew Hall, Peter Fox, and they're practicing 4 days a week. But what
I'm so
about
lazy
you?
right now.
You are?
This win, no, this win has beyond motivated
Yeah,
me. If you knew, I practiced 7 times this year.
that's it,
I
dude.
Yeah, I
Damn.
swear to you. Yeah, I yeah, I just, but I bowl every weekend.
Gotcha.
So I get a lot of reps there. But you need practice if you want to be competitive.
Okay.
And I think it also comes into like when you're bowling at a higher level. For me, at least, knowing that I don't practice, I don't feel prepared because I know the guys around me work hard.
Mm.
And yeah, I have natural talent, but those guys have natural talent too, and they're coming in prepared.
That's right.
So now that I am good, test my luck and try to go full time, I got to stay prepared because everyone has amazing talent out there.
It's going to be your second job, so you got to treat it as such, man. Yeah. Gotta do
Shout
what
out
you got to
Andrew
do, bro.
Hall. I appreciate that. He just said kind words. He called us kind and said that I'm a gem that everyone's going to quickly find out about.
I mean, you're next, dude. Andrew did it first. You got to do it now. It's your turn.
Yeah, I hope so. I just got to put the work in like I used to,
Yeah.
and just stay, this is my path. This is my mission. This is my goals, and go after it. No one can tell me otherwise. No one's going to tell me why I should do this or why I shouldn't do it.
For sure.
Because I'm doing
Yeah. You know John Van Hees, right?
a little bit of, yeah.
Yeah, because one time he told me something that stuck with me. He said that only you have to believe it. Like it doesn't matter if anyone else doesn't believe in you. If you believe in yourself, if you believe you can be that guy, be that tournament leader, be whatever. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, and it sounds like you get your head on straight when it comes to that.
That is, I can't emphasize that more. A lot of my struggles come when I have self-doubt, just believing that I can't, for whatever dumb reasons that are in my head on why, and those are the personal things that I always work on. And this win throws all those bad voices out of my head. That's all I can say. Like I feel like I am more than capable now to do the things that I set out to do. Where, last week I was sitting there after I miscut at a regional, driving on the way home, going, dude, maybe, find a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Like seriously, like, maybe it isn't really bowling, and then it's just like, it's just a part of the lifestyle. You're gonna have ups and downs. It's just about managing the downs and trying to make the best out of the downs, looking at all the positives, looking at some of the things we named, like when it goes down to the people you meet, the memories, all that stuff, because you don't get that at a desk job.
Definitely not. I work at a bank, and they're cool people, but when you're in bowling, like you're involved with your passion, and it's so special, dude. It really is. So
yeah, and I have a lot of successful people in my life, and I finally understand what majority of them have said with like, the thing that you'll be most successful at is your love and passion. No matter what monetary comes with it, but what you love and what's your passion, it's just like, you're gonna do anything for that.
Exactly. Even after, I think everyone in this chat, everyone in this live has probably had a moment where they're like, yeah, I'm quitting bowling. I'm done. I'm not good enough. And then you just get back at it, and
you
if you're Andy
stonate
Lazarchick, you
to
win
lose a
megabucks.
match. You stonate to lose a match, and you're like, oh, I'm never bowling again.
Yeah. Some Randy Peterson shit. Yeah. So.
But yeah, and it that's where it's just, I don't know, surreal. like the entire weekend.
Humbling.
Because I have worked hard at points in my life. You know, it's kind of like riding a bike now. My physical game, I think, is at the best it's ever been. You know, I've learned a lot about myself off the lanes and how to control some of the emotions while I'm bowling, just to kind of be in the zone I was this weekend, because there was nothing going through my head, and other than in qualifying, there's 40 frames, 40 shots I have to throw. And then once I knew there was only 20 games left for the 20,000, or 20 shots left for the 20,000. It's just like the same mindset. You know, how many times have I thrown 20 shots and 20 really good shots that strike? A lot in my life.
It's like Zach Wilkins' bio. He's like, the next shot you throw will be the best shot of your life. And that's the mentality of a lot of these top level guys. Yeah.
And then where I take the next thing for me personally is is just like how, you know, what happened 8 years ago is in the past, you can't change it. Literally what happened 10 seconds ago, the last shot, you can't change it. And it's okay to get upset or mad at yourself, but you can't let it roll over to the next frame. And it's just managing that, you know, like I remember in the finals, the first couple frames when I'm getting 9 and everyone's striking, I'm so mad at myself because I feel me grabbing it. You know, I'm talking to myself like, settle down, whatever. And then as soon as I sat down in the chair that I was sitting in, the thoughts just went off. Like there's no more, you know, bad thought, whatever. It's on to the next shot. You know what you have to do here. You have to perform.
And that comes from your years and decades of experience. You know, it just gets you primed to remember what works and manifest that in the right moments. Yeah.
Yeah. And even when it's, you know, a youth tournament that you get up and you need to double in the 10th to win, like you still felt that the pressure is the same relative pressure from when you're 14 years old to now. Like, you know, you're always going to feel a little bit of something when you're getting up there, needing it to win, at every level. So all those moments from when I was younger, being in the, you know, the situation of, hey, you need a strike to win, you know, that's where it pays off, that mindset. That's where it all comes into play. Like, how many times have you done this before? A lot.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you what I think sets you apart from a lot of the guys at that Megabucks tournament, a lot of the amateurs in that region, like you see it as such, and you know, it works out in practice. I mean, that's why you were successful. But a lot of guys, you know, they get tense and the moment gets to them. It sounds like you've gone beyond that, and that's really obviously helped your physical talent, your lane play talent, like really shine through. So.
Yeah. A funny thing, starting qualifying, I had 3 or 4 shots of practice. My thumb, for whatever reason, was so swollen. And for all of practice, I'm taking tape out, hitting it with a file, trying to get it to work. I take 3 shots and I'm like, wait, I'm the leader now? Like, where did this come from? You know, like if I would have told you the start to my morning, I woke up late, I forgot my t-shirt. I borrowed one of Andrew Hall's t-shirts, and put a hammer patch on it.
Yeah.
You know, now my bowling ball doesn't fit. I'm like, there's no chance I bowl well at this 8:30 a.m. squad. That's all that was in my head. And then the 3rd or 4th shot in practice, I saw what it did. I'm like, oh, we got a little something to work with. And then I saw it with the front 7. I'm like, whoa.
I didn't know you had
where'd this
the front 7. God damn.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm like, okay. And then I greet church or something, and I get bad count. That's how I bowl like the 51, because I spare, you know, another frame.
Weird score.
And yeah, I'm like, all right, 6 score, you know, classic you moment. You know how to bowl great. Bowl the 58 game, and now I'm like, oh, I'm settled in. Like my feel was there, my touch was there, and then we flipped down to the low end, and I have the front 8. Brandon Bone comes up to me and he goes, because we were all next to each other, he's like, you're in the 300 pot, right? And he's like, I know you didn't do brackets. I'm like, no, I went into 0. And he's like, why? And I'm like, because you see the front 8 I have right now? This is equivalent to me being back home practicing at Howell Lanes with the score system not on and having 8 strikes in a row. There's nothing that I am pressured for in this moment.
And that goes back to the way you compartmentalize. Like you're right. Yeah, I mean, but a lot of people don't do that. And, you know, that's definitely something that if you can master it, you know, you could be an unbelievable player. And that's definitely probably helping you, bro, honestly.
Yeah, because I'm a big bracket guy. I love the brackets. You know, like
Mm.
that's where a lot of the side money comes into play.
Yeah.
Especially when you can strike and have, solid games like that. And, then you get people coming up to you next squad where you go fire in the brackets now, or I literally have two more games for 20 grand. Like I don't need any more. Save my thumb.
Yeah.
Just do my thing. And I texted a few people, like I'm literally turning 6 games into 20,000. And like before I did it, actually, before I even got up there, I texted my brother, I'm going to bowl one squad. I'm going to make it off of one squad, turn $95 into 20,000. And then I'm going to start bowling the PVA. I'm like, take a screenshot of this. So when I win my first title, you know how it happened. And that
Dude,
was
you
on
gotta
my,
send me to that. I'll freaking post that. Like the fact that that actually happened is just honestly
yeah,
insane. You know?
it was something along the lines of that, but basically along the lines of that, I'm winning this weekend, $20,000, and I'm going to the PVA. And that was before I was even up there.
Yeah.
That's right when I was leaving New Jersey. Text my brother real quick.
And then that morning happened, and then you bounce back at the front seven. I mean, that's a freaking roller coaster, dude.
Yeah, and it's just, I don't know, surreal. That's
Sure.
literally all it is.
Yeah.
Feels great.
And I mean, I just hope that you don't take it for granted because you are living. I think all of us in New England. I think anywhere for that matter. You pick up a bowling ball, you dream of doing something like you did this past weekend. So, I hope that's not lost on you.
Yeah,
You gotta enjoy that.
I've had many dreams about doing something like this. I mean, more of them have been PBA, but I'm grateful for a huge amateur event like this. Like, I was joking around. I texted Tim Foy. I'm like, I just made basically your entire regional season in 6 games. Love you, dude.
In one tournament, in like 5
Yeah.
trips. Yeah.
But that's what I mean. Like, I'm grateful for people like that in my life that I can, just bounce stuff off, but they understand it. Like we have Tim and I, like, great. Same thing with Andrew. We have a lot of like personal talks on top of all just the sarcasm and stuff. And people like that, they see the talent in me. They see, the opportunity and the possibilities I have, and they just want the best for me. And I can't appreciate that more.
It's priceless, man. And yeah, like those are the things that turn good bowlers to great bowlers. I mean, no one does it alone. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I got to shout out Parker. That truthfully, if it wasn't for him, my swing would still be going north, south, east, and west, all in one direction,
yeah.
all in one swing.
Parker Bone coached you?
Yeah, Parker actually like said the eulogy at my mom's funeral. Parker's like, yeah. Parker's very grew up with my mom. Like it's a lot deeper than bowling.
He seems like just an amazing person. Like, obviously one of the greats of our sport. Cool, awesome, great. But
Yeah.
seems like an amazing, very down to earth dude, especially all he's accomplished, and he treats you like you're his equal. And that's awesome.
I'll always remember how I met him. It was right when I started bowling. I was practicing at Howell. The U.S. Open was at Carolier at the time, so in Jersey. So he was home. He wasn't out on tour. And he recognized my mom in the bowling alley. My mom and dad stopped bowling in 2001. So it's like almost 11 years later, roughly. And Parker's just in there for whatever reason, bumps into my parents, and sees that I'm bowling. He says some stuff to me, and, just I forget exactly what it was. Like, I'm too young to remember there, but where he invites us to the U.S. Open. He's like, my dad works the door. You won't have to pay. Just walk right in and watch. And
Yeah.
I remember taking his bowling balls up and down the concourse and cheering for him bowling 170 games on the PBA level. And every shot he threw, he came back and either stood or sat next to me. And just, it was, now looking back at it, it's the U.S. Open. He really doesn't have a chance on the left. He knows what he's in there for, and he's just being the person he is, an amazing down-to-earth person. And he sees that I'm having an amazing time clapping for every shot, whether it's a split, strike, spare. I'm just happy to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the love, I guess, for competitive bowling really came into play.
Really?
Like from there, it just was like, I want to bowl. I want to bowl. This was awesome. What an awesome week. And then 2 years later, I'm back at Carolier and I win the Pro-Am, and I get all these, now 13 at the time, and I get all these pros autographs. That was the trophy you got. You got some like $1,000 in scholarship money to your smart fund and a pin signed by all the touring pros. And then that's where it's like, I love bowling. I like, it was so unique to me because I've always like loved baseball. I played baseball growing up, and you don't get those interactions with MLB players. Like you don't have those opportunities. I mean, you can find them, but
there's a degree of separation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's not like what it is in the PBA, where literally you are right there with the professional.
Yeah.
And that atmosphere was just awesome. That's where like it really started. And from there, I bowled some of his scholarship leagues. I actually won his youth tournament. I beat Andrew Hall in his youth tournament. Yeah.
I hope Andrew's still here. What do you got to say about that, Andrew?
I'm pretty sure his thumb broke the match before me, so he was at an unfair his IT thumb. So he was at an unfair disadvantage.
Okay.
And he also bowled a lefty at Howell Lanes. A very unfair disadvantage.
I mean, you said it. I mean,
but you know, and then I finished second the following year, and it's more than bowling with Parker, truthfully. You know, I know he's a phone call away, and if he doesn't answer, it's, hey, by the end of the night, what's going on, whatever. You know, he's stepped up in some pretty insane scenarios in my family's life. Still recovering from it.
I'm dead. Oh, man.
Shout out to Andrew.
Yeah. Dude, have you talked to Parker since the tournament? Has he said anything to you?
Yeah. He actually gave me some really good advice to pay for all my PTQs before the end of the year, so it can be used as a bowling expense. That was
big brain.
Yeah, that was one of the first things he said, and I'm like, 1,000%, yes.
Oh, what did Andrew say?
Oh yeah, I made this. Wow, I forgot about that. I made this 6-7 in like the 8th or 9th frame to clinch the match.
Is there a video of this? Like,
there's a live stream somewhere. Yeah,
I gotta find that, dude. Like, there's so many things I gotta find now, and that's one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely a live stream somewhere for that.
Bro, you're clutch. Goddamn. Always have it.
It's this. Yeah, I would just put, you know, I told myself, I know for a fact I told myself I'm making this before I got on the approach, because that's what I tell myself every time. Now, you don't make it every time, but you gotta convince yourself that you're going to. You don't think about the times you missed. You think about all the times you made it, how you made it, what that felt like, you know, what the angle was, whatever the case is.
Just trying to clip it, and that's all she wrote. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I forgot I did that. That's awesome.
What's he saying now?
The king in his castle is a hard man to beat. Howell Lane's home. 1 year at nationals, college nationals with McKendree. I need to get up in the 10th and mark for us to win the match.
Gotcha.
It was best of 7. We're in game 7, or best of 5. We're in game 5. We're in the last game. I need to mark. Before I get up there, Brian O'Keefe yells at me, "Howell Lane's, Laz, it's just Howell Lane's." Like, we're bowling in Michigan somewhere at Spectrum. And he's like, just put it in my head, you're just in Howell Lane's, Laz. Just throw it like you're an owl.
It's all mental, like you said.
Yeah, but Andrew's right. Hard to beat the king in his castle. But I'm not going to claim myself as the king is there. There's Johnny Petraglia, you know, Parker, Brandon, Matt Russo. A lot of good lefties in that castle of left-handed bowling.
Yeah. What do you, what do you think about, obviously people have all this banter about lefties versus righties. You know, what do you think about that? Because there are definitely times where it's a disadvantage as well, you know?
My honest opinion, I don't care.
Okay.
I bowl a ball. You know, this is the hand that I use. Oh, well. Even when they shut me out, I'm still there to bowl. I mean, Andrew's dad, Bruce, talks about one of the regionals this year. He was like, they gave you no shot in the left, and you made it work and made the number and made a run for it. So it's not always going to happen that way. Obviously, the longer patterns, the right's going to develop a little better. And on the shorter patterns, the left is going to be able to throw urethane, where the righties, they're going to break them down and the early hook gets there. So that's where.
Still going to make the shots.
Yeah, and then there's the medium pattern. Sometimes it's the righty medium pattern, sometimes the lefty. Now it goes into deeper things, lane topography, the lane surface, what oil, stuff like that. So I look at it, and it goes even with two-handed. I don't care. I don't care if you kick the ball down the lane. If it strikes 12 times, that's pretty hard to beat.
It's
That's
the equipment,
how I look at it.
not the style of throwing it. Yeah.
Yeah, it literally doesn't matter how you bowl, hand, whatever. If you throw it overhand, if it strikes more than mine, I'm gonna shake your hand and say good bowling.
Yeah.
There is no right way to bowl. There's a basic, kind of guide of, straight swing, stuff like that you want to follow to help you have repetition. But that's really all bowling is how well can you repeat what you do.
That's right. I agree.
So I don't really like to focus on left versus right, or two hands versus one hand, or no thumb, or both thumbs, whatever comes up out of it. Or how about this? Urethane, we're all able to use it. It's just who has the most skill using it. And obviously the lefties are going to be able to use it more on the short because there's less breakdown on our side of the lane.
Right.
Creates more consistency. But I don't know. None of it makes a difference. It's just throwing a ball 60 feet down the lane at 10 pins.
Literally. Listen to this guy. Everyone listen to this guy. Because
I wish more people could understand. I get some of the opinions, 2 out of the last 3 years, the lefty won the mega buck, this and that. It just happens. You can't say this weekend the best bowler that weekend didn't win. That and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
And that's not me saying I'm better. This weekend I just matched up. It was my weekend, regardless of what hand I used.
Yeah.
Other people, they could have matched up and had the same weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's out there for everyone.
I agree. Preaching to the choir. Is there anything we missed in the comments? Or?
All right, let's look at this.
It's all Andrew Hall, of course. 5
Why is it making me want to comment? I don't like my phone right now.
Yeah, same.
It's up. There we go. It was getting stuck and clicking back in.
Oh shoot.
So kept on wanting me to type a comment. I'm like, I don't have anything to comment. Not I. Yeah, he said honk. Oh my. All right, I'll tell you a funny dinner story from this weekend. We went out with, I'm going to draw a blank on Brandon and Alex Horton's friend's name, but he's from Rhode Island. It may have been Jay or Jason.
Jay Matthew?
Maybe. I'm bad. I'm bad with people's names. He really didn't talk much at the dinner table as everyone else. Then Andrew Hall and Scott Camp, myself, we went to Applebee's after bowling Saturday. And the waitress, she was a little bit of a nut job. She remembered all of our orders and all the extra stuff that we did. That we put on our meal to a T, and then spit it all back out to us. Didn't write one thing down. So we're like, oh, he said Tyler. His name's Tyler. My bad. Sorry, Tyler. Sorry if you're watching, dude. My bad. So we knew she was a fun type of waitress. We could have good banter with her, going back and forth. And I got one Angry Orchard, and I asked for a straw for my apple juice. Yeah. And she brings out whatever straws and whatnot, and she sees me struggling with the straw because it's and she makes some comment. I was like, yeah, my parents didn't let me use a straw as a kid. And she's like, why? I was like, 'cause I'd always chew on them and choke. And she's like, oh, you're one of those kids. I guess your mom dropped you on your head as a child. And I was like, no, my mom slipped. And she was like, oh, I was in a car accident with my kid. But she was now serious. Yeah, she was like, when I was pregnant with my daughter, I was in a car accident. So Scott Camp asked the waitress, does your daughter honk when she talks?
Oh, okay. Is that why Andrew just said honk? So that's okay. That's making more sense now. What the?
And then like she kept on saying to us, you know, be back in a jiffy. And we're like, all right. She called French fries Frenchies.
Oh
I
my
thought
God.
of the bull. I thought of the bulldog. I'm like, oh my god, I'm getting an order of bulldogs. Like, what is this lady doing?
Bro, that is yeah. I don't know. I mean, some of these people out there, man. I don't know. That's
But
wild, bro.
stuff like that, like that's more. That will be a memory that I will probably take more grateful than winning this weekend.
Absolutely,
Like
yeah.
those moments like that are just unforgettable. You know, there's other stuff that happened at dinner. Like we were cracking up the entire night. You know, I don't think I laughed that hard in a while. My stomach was hurting. Like when I got in bed, I was like, oh, I laughed way too hard all night.
Dude, that's what it's all about. I'm telling you. I mean, this has been fun, man. Like I was thinking maybe it would be like 15, 30 minutes, but no, you're a great dude and you deserve everything you've had. I mean, good guy. You worked your ass off and this is where it's taking you. So
Yeah,
I expect to see you on tour, bro. Doing
yeah. Now
well.
I'm just gonna work really hard and you know just stay true to myself, true to you know who I want to be as a person. You know, not worry about the mistakes I made and move forward. You got to fail to get to where you are today to be successful.
And you have, and now it's starting to pay off for you. So just gotta be encouraged by that, man. Hell yeah.
Definitely, I
Um,
appreciate it.
of course. Anything you want to say before we sign off?
Just thank you everybody who tuned in. Thank you for doing this. This is cool. This is neat. This is the first time I ever did something like this.
Honestly, same. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and I think we should also try to put some light on the mega bucks. Like
Mm.
we really need to have that tournament, get more entries, whatever it is that they to keep on
Yeah.
running, because when you break it down, 6 games, excuse me, $95, 20,000, like
Not bad.
that's like a Cinderella
Yeah,
story. It almost sounds like when you put it all together, what it means to me, like, and what I'm gonna do with it. It's really my Cinderella story. This is what is gonna get me over the hump, and I'm gonna be very successful from this.
absolutely. I
Yeah,
believe it. So, dude, thank you so much for doing this, and everyone who tuned in, thank you,
of course.
especially Andrew.
Yep. Yeah. Everyone enjoy their night. Thank you for watching.
Yeah. All right. Take care,
Cool.
guys.
We'll talk.
Yes, yes, sir.